Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review and demo using the new L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. So I heard about this and I ran out to get it because I wanted to try it. I tried their Infallible Pro Matte Foundation and I really like it. I have not used the Pro Glow because I have very oily skin, so obviously that wouldn't do me any good, but this foundation is supposed to be a 24-hour foundation, full coverage, weightless feel. On the back it says that the finish is natural as opposed to matte or radiant. Wears up to 24 hours, high coverage, and airlight texture. It also says it's a pro face and body foundation, ultra lightweight, seamless coverage. It says use everywhere, face, neck, arms, and legs to cover imperfections and even skin tone. So I got the shade 304, and this is what I'm going to be using in this video today. I also did buy the shade 303 because since this was at Bed Bath & Beyond, I couldn't really open it. They didn't have testers, so I didn't want to open everything. So I got both of those and I ended up needing 304. This is a perfect match. And as far as color matching with the other two foundations that they have, I'm not sure because the matte one that I have is a really dark shade from this summer when I was really tan. So I'm not sure, but for the time being I use shade 304. I have been using this foundation for probably almost 2 weeks. I really do like it. It works really well. It is very lightweight and it does last a long time. I'm not sure about 24 hours, but I mean, it lasts long enough for me, and I have really long days. Even though it's not matte, I feel like it does help with oil control, which is something that I really struggle with and have struggled with for a long time. It does have pretty good coverage. It will even out your skin tone or, whatever you need it for. But if you have a lot of blemishes, then I would definitely say that you probably need an additional product like concealer or whatever you need to use, because this will cover it but you'll still be able to see it. If you have blemishes, then you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, all in all, I would definitely recommend this foundation. So I'll quit rambling and we'll get started. Okay, so I've already primed and moisturized and color corrected and everything that I need to do to put on foundation, but to start off, I did use this Clean and Clear moisturizer, and this is pretty cheap. I got it at Ulta. And then for my primer today, I used this number 7 Airbrush Away. This is supposed to be a pore minimizing primer. It works fairly well with this primer, and I have used it with other primers, all the way from really cheap to a little bit more expensive. So the cheap one I've used with this is the Rimmel Stay Matte, and it works just fine. And I've also used the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores primer with it, and it also works fine too. So pretty much any primer you use should work with this foundation. As far as color correcting, I did go in with the NYX concealers, and this is in the shade yellow and green. And I put the yellow under my eyes, and I put the green pretty much everywhere else because I have a lot of redness. But that is how I prep my face and get ready for foundation. So my go-to way to apply this foundation is to just squeeze some on the back of my hand, and then I go in and apply it with this Real Techniques sponge. But today I'm also going to try this Real Techniques. This is the Diamond Miracle Sponge. I just got this yesterday. I've never tried it. As you can see, it's perfectly white and it won't be in a minute. But I just want to see how it, compares to the original. I'm going to use one sponge on half of my face, and I'll use the other one on the other half of my face. So I will pour some on the back of my hand. Like that. And first I'm going to use the orange one. So I will just dip it in and then go to town. So the coverage is, it's okay. I don't think you could get away with not wearing concealer, especially if you have a lot of blemishes. I have a lot of shit going on right here. I don't know why, but yeah, you can still see it through the foundation, but after I have concealer on and everything and, finish the rest of my face, you really can't tell. So it definitely helps, but I don't think I would ever personally wear it alone. But it applies really nicely and it blends out really nicely. The color is pretty good too, but the tubes are kind of misleading. They look very yellow. So the color on the outside of the bottle, I would definitely say, is not an accurate representation of the actual color inside. So keep that in mind, because when I purchased it, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so yellow. This is gonna be freaking awful. But it's not. And my pores are still somewhat visible, but it's a hell of a lot better than it is on the other side. So speaking of the other side, now I'm going to go in with this diamond sponge and we'll see. I think I'm going to try to stay using the top, which is a flat edge. So I guess the purpose of this is for multiple edges for different places on your face. But for the time being, I'm just going to play it safe and use the flat edge. It's tainted. All right. I feel like all my product like disappeared. Like I don't feel like anything really went on my face. Like I can see it on there, but it doesn't feel like anything's there. Strange. Personally, I think this is a little bit more difficult to handle. It's kind of weird. Maybe it'll take some getting used to, but it's definitely different. But this flat edge is not going to get underneath my eye, so I am going to use the pointed end. And just get in there. I normally don't have dark circles. This is actually a little bit of like fallout from my eyeshadow, but it'll still cover it. But I definitely think that the diamond one does suck up more product, because normally with that amount of product that I used at first, I can get my whole face and I can get blended down on my neck and stuff and usually have a little bit extra. But I definitely didn't today, so got some more and I'm just going to put it on my neck just to make sure that I have like a, you know, even though it matches my face fairly well, I don't like not blending down. And I even put some on my ears because my ears turn really red, and when they're not red they're really pale. Weird. But so I always bring it down there. Okay, so before I put on anything else, I can tell the difference between each side of my face. This side is definitely more well, I wouldn't call it flawless by any means, but it is more so than the other side. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the orange sponge really fills in your pores better as opposed to the other one. I don't know, maybe it just needs to be broken in. I don't know, because, you know, the sponges are kind of weird when you first get them wet. I don't know, but, yeah, I think I still like the orange one better. Now for my concealer, I'm going to use this Maybelline Fit Me, and this is in the shade Light. I always use this concealer no matter what type of foundation I'm using, drugstore, high-end, you know, whatever. This is like my ride or die concealer. And honestly, I'll probably never use anything different because one, it's cheap, and two, it works amazing. So, like, yeah. So I'll just put this under my eyes, on my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin. And then I am going to go ahead and blend everything out with the original Real Technique sponge. You never realize how stupid you look putting on foundation until you watch yourself. Once I finish that, I like to go in and set everything, and I use the Midnight Luxury Powder in the shade Cameo. So I just like to use this, and I use the other end of the Real Technique sponge, and I just dip some, or I put it in the cap, and then I dip it in there. And I just set everything. Like I really set it good under the eyes. And then pretty much everywhere else, but under the eyes is the biggest thing. And for some reason along my jawline, that's where stuff tends to break apart and slide off. So I really make sure to set that area good too. But this goes on really well with a damp sponge. It doesn't make it look really powdery or cakey. So it's really nice. I like it. I used to use a brush and I use a dry sponge, but yeah, I've just found that if it's damp, it goes on a lot better and it kind of blends in with your skin more. So for my contour, I'm going to go in with the Tarte Pro Glow palette, and I'm going to be using this Sculpt shade right here. This is honestly the only shade I like out of this whole palette, but anyways, it's really nice. It really does mimic like a shadow. It doesn't look like you have a harsh line or anything, and I freaking love it. I don't know what it is about the formula or the color, but it's really nice, and it's pretty foolproof. But to apply it, I'm going to use this Real Techniques Bold Metals brush, and this is the number 300. I really like this brush because you can give a really light application, but you can still see your product and you can tell that it's there. And it blends it like fairly seamlessly, so it's really nice. I did buy this in a 3-piece kit, so I'm not sure if you can buy this brush individually. I think you can, but I just wanted to mention that for the purpose of me linking everything that I use down below. If it's not there, then that means that I can't find it. Because I actually bought the 3-piece kit at Ross. It was 20 bucks, and usually the metals brushes are over $20 each, so I thought it was a pretty good deal. I also always go under my jawline to make it look like I have one. So I also like to put a little bit of powder like on my eyebrows because they get really oily for whatever reason. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that these eyebrows are as fake as they get. So when it gets oily and stuff starts sliding around, it's really never a good thing. So I just like to put a little bit of powder on there and just let it set. Then to sharpen everything up, I will take this dry like wedge and I will take some of the powder and I will just make a line like that. That's the only time I use a dry sponge to apply powder because this is actually going to be dusted off. Okay, so now I'm going to go finish the rest of my makeup. I'm going to finish my eyes and dust all this off, put on my blush and highlight, and I'll be back. Okay, so I went in and did my under eyes. I put some blush on and some highlight, and I did my lips. So you can still see like some of my pores, but I mean, let's be real, like when can you not see? So, I mean, that's not a big deal to me because if I'm just looking in the mirror, I mean, I think everything looks pretty good, so I'm not really worried about that. But I will say that I have worn this foundation like several times, so I know how it wears and everything. It does last all day. Like, I don't really have any problems with it breaking up. I know that is a big problem for me with a lot of other foundations, especially around my nose and above my lip. It just like, I don't know, it looks freaking awful by the end of the day. That's a pretty big problem for me because I get up really early and do my makeup. I'm usually doing my makeup, you know, earlier than 5 a.m. And as far as oil control, it's not a designated matte foundation, but it is not dewy either, and it doesn't look like really drying, and it doesn't look really like shiny. It's just a perfect natural, and like I said, even though it's not designated matte, I feel like my skin gets less oily with this foundation for whatever reason, but that's really nice. So I mean, I'm definitely going to keep wearing it. I have been wearing this every day since I got it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. And like I mentioned before, you can get it at Bed Bath & Beyond. That is the only place that I know of so far. I cannot find it on their website as of now, but I know it will be moving into like Walmart and Target and other drugstores. So as far as the Miracle Diamond Sponge, I'm still unsure. Now that I have the rest of my makeup on, both sides look pretty much the same. But whenever I was applying the foundation, it feels like it sucked more of the product up than the other sponge. It's also very awkward to hold, and I don't know, it's clearly different than the other sponge. I personally will probably just stick with the orange one myself, but I wanted to try this because, you know, I like trying new things, and it's really cute, so It kind of sucks that it's white though because it just bothers me. So that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried this foundation and what you think about it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.